Are you brand new to real estate, or maybe even just waiting to get your license, probably chomping at the bit if you're anything like me? Then this video is for you. We're talking what should you be doing in your first 30 days after getting a license. I would even argue if you're not licensed yet, what should you be doing before you're licensed? This is it. Check it out. How's it going, friends? My name is Jesse Lynch, and I run the hardest working real estate teams in the game. We have to the Twin Cities. Welcome to Denver. Welcome to Salt Lake City. Welcome to San Diego. And welcome to Tennessee. And I've been in real estate for just a little over 3 years now. It's been truly, truly life-changing, and I'm so excited to be able to share some of the thoughts, some of the ideas, some of the things that I've learned along the way about how to crush it in real estate, but how to not do it like everybody else, how to not be boring and vanilla, and how to, be an individual while simultaneously being a real estate agent who can absolutely kill it in real estate. So if that appeals to you, then do me a favor, do yourself a favor, subscribe to this channel, click the bell to get notified so you can see when I put out these videos, because I promise you there will be some very, very valuable stuff coming up. And feel free to take a look at the channel. I got a lot of videos out. There's not a whole lot of numbers as I post this right now. It's all good. I just trust the process, because that's what I've done in real estate since day one. So I guess that's a little hot tip. Trust the process, put in the work, and it will pay off. And then before we dive in, if you want to work with me specifically, be on one of my teams in particular, and or start a new team with me, or just join Real, which is the brokerage that I'm at, feel free to reach out. I would love to chat with you about it. I think there's a lot of benefits for a lot of people. That said, I don't think it's right for everybody. So by all means, get a hold of me. I would love to chat through some of that. You can go to my email, just shoot me an email, info@tothetwincities.com or jesse@tothetwincities.com, whatever. They lead to the same inbox, so totally up to you. And as I shoot this right now, I'm in a hotel in Ireland. I'm in Kilcarney, Ireland at the Lake Hotel. It's absolutely beautiful. I can see this unbelievable lake. I think it's Loch Lean or Lean or something like that. Irish words escape me. Literally a castle right over there. There's ruins of a castle right over here. It's crazy. Maybe I'll show you. Maybe I'll turn the camera here in a second. But it is absolutely beautiful, and I really owe my ability to do this, my ability to be here in Ireland for like 2 weeks, to real estate, and to basically what I'm trying to teach you here on this channel, that devotion to the game and that absolute tenacity to get through to where you can do life-changing things, make life-changing money, and also just have a super great, satisfying career in real estate. And I'd like to say special shout out if you're watching this before you're licensed. I absolutely devoured information right before I got licensed, and it really changed my perspective and it changed my path. It really showed me the possibilities of real estate. And so I applaud you if you're watching this before you've gotten licensed. If you're just got licensed, if you're two months in, if you're a year in and you still just feel like you're floundering, well then today is day one, okay? I want you to learn everything you can from the people who you resonate with, right? If you happen to resonate with me, cool, again, subscribe here. But if not, if I'm not your guy, then find somebody else. Literally click on this video right now. Find somebody who you do resonate with, or continue to consume what I have to give you. Find somebody else who resonates with you more, but I promise there will be nuggets along the way. I picked up info from people who I'll never do business like, but I gathered little nuggets, little bits of gold, right? That I think no matter what, if you just devour information from other realtors, from other people who are maybe in marketing or sales even though I don't think this is a sales industry, then really you will be further along. But more than anything, don't let that devouring of information stop you from actually taking, conscious, purposeful action and doing the things that actually matter. You can learn all day long, all night long, for months and years and decades, and if you are never actually acting upon what you're learning, then it's basically worthless as far as I'm concerned. So step one, devour information and prepare yourself and begin to just take unbelievable action. I want you to look at the people around you who are doing well or not well, and I want you to see them as sort of fuel and go, right, that's why they're not doing well. They're not doing half of the shit that I'm doing. I want you to really pride yourself on the ability to take the action that other people aren't willing to take. I want you to do so much that everybody around you thinks, how can they possibly get all this stuff done? But I think this is where I'm really going to differentiate from a lot of people, which to me, step two, the next thing that you should do after you're devouring the information, after you're learning as much as you possibly can, and while you're doing so, I want that to basically go simultaneously with you trying to figure out what it is about you that makes you different. I'm going to talk a lot about brand on this channel. I already have. I'm a big believer in creating your own personal brand, company brand, whatever it is, but a brand is nothing if it's vanilla, if it blends into everything else. That's not a brand. That's just following what everybody else is doing. Brands are unique. Brands stand out. If you decide to just copy somebody else's brand and their identity and just do exactly what they're going to do, the reality is you might see some movement on that. But I believe that you're basically admitting to yourself, you're agreeing that I will never be better than the thing that I'm copying. I will always be a second-rate version of the thing that I'm copying. I'm a musician, and I used to play with a lot of bands who were just ripping off other bands at every single turn. And the reality is I knew that until they learned to pivot and to be themselves and find their own voice, that they would never really be anything but a rip-off of band XYZ, and there were plenty of rip-offs out there. And I want you to pay attention to what other people are doing that you don't like, right? Or that you don't identify with. And I want you to figure out specifically what is it about you that's different from them, and what is it about them that is like blatantly offensive to you. It doesn't have to be literally offensive, but like, what is it about them that you just rubs you the wrong way? And that is where you can find a superpower. That is where you can find your own place to say, okay, I can just partly be opposition to that thing. So now what I want you to do, you're focusing on being unique, right? I want you to fundamentally make a marketing plan. And I know that sounds kind of corporate, kind of vanilla, but at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? So we're devouring information. Step two, fundamentally, we are beginning to shape the brand, right? And the brand can change, but I want you to at least have a direction that you're headed. I want you to figure out, what is it about me that makes me unique? And I promise you the brand will change. It can easily change. I literally changed the name of my company from Jesse Lynch Realty to the Twin Cities. And then I grew out multiple brands based on the same brand. But part of this marketing plan, what I want you to do is decide how many posts you're going to make. And I want it to be aggressive, okay? I want it to be a number that feels like you won't be able to do it right off the bat. So specifically, if you're using social media, one post a day, if you're not busy as an agent, that's easy. That should be the bare minimum. If you're doing long-winded videos on social media, then one post a day might be plenty. If you're doing even kind of a longer short-form video, then one video a day might be difficult for you to achieve, right? But I still think you should be going for it. But really, what I think you should be doing is trying to go for 3 posts a day, right? Because so much of the posts early on are you figuring out what it is about you that you like to do and what it is about your brand that actually speaks to you. And let me back up real quick. In part of the branding section, or we'll call it section 2, what I want you to do, and I'm making a video on this very soon, I want you to create a customer client avatar. That's a kind of a chewy term. It doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. They kind of think it seems like a bit, I don't know, self-indulgent or unnecessary, but I promise you, creating a brand avatar will be very important and will be able to help inform you on the decisions that you make going forward. So putting that back in section 2, create an avatar as part of your brand. And now again, we're in the marketing and you're putting out an immense amount of content, as much video, as much photo, as much posting as you possibly can. And as part of that avatar, I want you to decide what is your ideal client? What are they paying attention to, right? What social media channels are they on? Are they on LinkedIn and Twitter, or are they on Instagram and TikTok? Are they on Instagram and Snapchat, right? Those are very, very different platforms with different kinds of people. But if you don't know who your ideal customer is, it'll be very difficult to decide what should you focus on. And you might find yourself spreading across all, 6 of the major social media platforms, at which point you will probably burn out, or you won't have enough feedback on any individual lane. So again, figure out who you're talking to, go on the platform that they're going to be on, and really push out a lot of information, a lot of branding, a lot of you just being out there as a real estate agent. And I really want you to play around with what kind of videos do you like making, and so what videos does your ideal audience like making. And please don't just make it the easiest possible video that you can make. I promise you that will not be the best way to brand unless you're putting out a tremendous amount of those videos. But I believe that if you're putting out video, which obviously this channel is big on video, then you got to be in it. It's got to be your face talking to the camera more often than not, or at least for long sections of time. You can post a walkthrough video of a home, but if you're never in that video, that is not really branding. That is just sort of a reminder to the people who already bought into your brand that that's what you're doing. Which, if anything, I would say that's just marketing, right? That's not really branding. It's got to be your face. If you're the one doing the real estate, if you're the one that they're going to be talking to, it's got to be your face on the camera. If you find that you really don't want to be on camera, maybe you hate being on camera, then I think you can do voiceover. But again, you got to be one of the best at voiceover, and your voice is still better than nothing. I think a video or photo where you're not in it visually, right? Your face isn't in it at all, and your voice isn't in it at all, is really bottom of the barrel. You can definitely post that stuff, and you should, but then in the description, I want your tone of voice to come through, okay? And more importantly, I would say, if you don't want to be on video and you can do the voiceover thing, then you have to decide fundamentally that you need to basically dominate the blog space, okay? And then I would say that voiceover video is you just got to do it at a really, really high level and put out a lot of that content. People got to be familiar with you, and I would say it takes a little bit longer to build a brand on audio only. Although there are a ton of podcasts who have proven that that is possible. So maybe go down the podcast route, go over voiceover video route, and then maybe go into the written word specifically for your posts. Maybe you're into LinkedIn, whatever. Written word, voiceover, and podcasts. You could definitely build a really outstanding brand, but you gotta kill it. You gotta hit it at a really, really high velocity. And regardless of what it is that you end up doing, you're gonna find a path or 2 paths, right? You're gonna find a couple social media platforms that you really identify with, that you think your brand will work well on, and you're gonna absolutely put out so much content on those things that people wonder how you do it, and you're going to do that extremely consistently, okay? Consistency is huge. Not only for algorithms and the platforms themselves, but for you to get the practice. It's a muscle that you have to learn how to use consistently, and I promise you, you will get there. It will become second nature to you. That's a real thing. So just know that that's the case and just put in the work, start doing the videos. I've been making videos for quite a while before I started real estate, and I look back on my first videos in real estate, I didn't love them. I really don't love them. I look back now, I feel a little bit embarrassed about them, but that's okay. That's where I was, and that's sort of the growth of the brand and the growth of me as an ambassador to my own brand. I've gotten more and more comfortable on video as time goes along. The videos have gotten a little bit more polished, but I think that brings me to my next section, which is don't get bogged down in the details. Don't let your research or your gear, your camera equipment, don't let that get in the way of you actually posting. I'm going to be pissed if I get anything about like what's the best camera on this video. I suppose now I will, but that doesn't matter. The gear and the quality does not matter early on. The consistency and you figuring out what it is you like about your voice matters more than anything else. And even still, the honestly, like, low quality, TikTok looks like shit pretty much all the time. I really like high quality videos, but TikTok is absolutely dominated by videos that don't look that good. They're not that crispy, right? I like a good crispy video. I like a nice depth of field, but they don't look that good. They don't even sound that good all the time. And I think TikTok is maybe one of the best examples of that, but I would say you can go all the way to long form YouTube videos, and the quality is just not the single most important thing. I've watched a lot of videos from people who have bad quality, but good character and good information. So that's the stuff that you need to focus on, and I promise you, your phone will be enough to basically make very, very nice content on any one of those platforms. Specifically as it comes to what videos to make and what posts to make, really early on, I want you to be fairly vulnerable. I want you to say that I'm a new agent, and I want you to explain to people what it is maybe that makes you less comfortable, what makes you less confident in the process. I want you to share those vulnerabilities because people will identify with them. I have talked a lot about authenticity in my life, in my career, I guess, as a real estate agent, and I do believe that authenticity is huge. If I wasn't talking how I normally talk, this would be much, much harder, right? I think the editing process would be way, way harder if I had some character that I was putting on, and I think riffing would be more difficult unless you're some outrageous, I don't know, character actor or something like that. The authenticity is huge. I know a lot of people who put out videos, and I watch them and I think, that doesn't seem like how they seem in real life, right? So I want you to focus on that, the authenticity piece, but know that it will take a little bit. It'll take some doing before you can really be, you can come across as a real version of yourself. But I still think that the authenticity will show through. You authentically feel uncomfortable on camera, right? And so that is authentic, but coming through to the other side where you're actually very, very comfortable and you feel like you would normally if you were hanging out with a friend, that will take a little bit. But people won't care. The right people won't care early on. I promise you, putting something out that you don't absolutely love, that you're not extremely proud of, will be better than putting nothing out, because somebody will identify with that and will think, hey, good for them. I would also feel very strange if I was on video. And then the last little bit on specifically what content I want, you probably don't know that much about real estate, right? Maybe you're all the way through class, you just passed your test, or maybe not. Maybe you're in the middle of class, maybe you're before you're even taking the class, but you're excited. You don't know that much. So I want you to make a video, first video out the gate, I want it to be an introduction video. Hey, this is who I am. This is kind of what I did before that. I'm really excited about this opportunity, whatever feels authentic to you. But I do believe that positive energy as it pertains to this new career and sort of excitement is somewhat contagious, and it will attract more people than just being negative, which, like, why on earth would you be doing this? If you intend to just come out and be negative about it, then maybe don't do it. So make a video, an introduction video. Here's who I am, here's what I did, I'm excited to do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then I also want you to make a video shortly thereafter, a challenge video. I made a challenge video that I think worked very, very well for me very early on. I called it a 90-day challenge. I think that's a great idea. I think you could do a 30-day challenge video, but you could also do a 90-day challenge video. I said in the first 90 days, I wanted to be helping, or I wanted to be assisting in some way 10 people get to where they want to go. And I publicly declared this. I want to help 10 people get to where they want to go in terms of their real estate goals, buying a house, selling a house, investing, whatever. And in the first 90 days, I for sure destroyed that. I was at something like, 29 people that had like reached out. I wasn't helping them all actively, but a lot of people reached out, and I sort of began putting things in motion for them. And so definitely do that. I think it feels vulnerable, but I think people will respect it. I know a lot of folks reached out to me following that and said, I do have some things that I want to get done, and I'm hoping you can help. And then I probably just want you to start with making pretty simple educational videos. For my team, I actually have like a whole list of videos with sort of bulleted outlines of, hey, here are what you're talking about in this video, because I made those videos pretty early on, and they were very, very helpful for me to figure out how to explain to my future client how a certain thing goes, because I had to dive in and research this stuff, and then I had to talk about it in front of a camera and be fluent on it. And just doing that makes you so much better at telling somebody when that thing comes up. I made very, very simple videos. I made how to buy a home, right? That's like as basic and fundamental as it gets, and it walked through the process. I did a video called How Much Does It Cost to Buy a Home, where I talk through down payment and that kind of things. And because I made those videos, I now have a much richer understanding of the financing side of things than I ever would have had I not made these videos. And I also have a great relationship with lenders for that reason as well, because I said, hey, I want to make a video. Can you tell me how to explain this? I will say I think you could probably do a video where the lender's on, but I actually don't think that will be as beneficial to you as if you say, hey lender, explain some of this stuff to me so I can explain it to somebody else. You're not giving financial advice and lending advice, but you are giving a basic outline. So look, people are going to ask you that stuff. And if you have knowledge about it, it will help you a great deal. It will also help you understand where you are totally out of your lane and where you're not. Okay, and now step 5, I guess I'm probably at step 5 by now, is basically what I'm going to call don't overthink it. And what I mean by don't overthink it is a bunch of things. First of all, don't overthink the gear. I already mentioned that. I want you to start on your phone or whatever the best camera that you literally have right now. That's what I want you to start on. I really did videos early on that were on my phone. I put them in like a double hung window. I put them up at the top. I stood there and I talked to it. And the audio isn't that good because it was reflecting off of the window, but it didn't matter. I swear to you that people came in to me and as a client to me from those videos that were very, very, very far from perfect. Another thing I mean by don't overthink it is don't overthink the feedback, right? You will make videos that get an extremely low amount of interaction. As you just start your social media platforms, you will get very low views on those videos that will have to build up over time. Which, hey, special hack, by the way, if you're made it this far, thank you for watching. I really think that if you are starting your own brand and you're on social media, right? Let's say you're on Instagram and you've already kind of dabbled in it for one thing or another. If it's purely personal, cool. If it's professional in some other realm, like I had another channel, another Instagram page that was strictly for me as a photographer and videographer. It had a lot of people following it. And I actually started a new channel because this brand is totally left field from the real estate brand. And if I started posting a bunch of real estate stuff, that's to the wrong audience. And that's going to show those social media channels that this audience doesn't care at all about this content, which probably means that it's bad. And so they're going to show it to some people. Those people are not going to interact with it at all because that's not what they're there for. And then that algorithm is going to say, well, clearly that video sucks, right? And so they're going to smush it down. Nobody's going to see it. So I started a new channel and I followed a bunch of friends who had supported things that I had done in the past, right? So friends and even just followers from previous endeavors who were supportive, right? Who liked things in the past, who commented on things. Those are the people that you want, the most. You don't want all the ghost followers that you have. They are not that helpful to you in the grand scheme. I would much rather have started with like 100 people who actually were supportive, like consistently supportive on my photography business, and follow them. They can choose to follow me back. If they do, cool, that shows that they're going to continue to support the things that I'm doing. And so I want you to just make a new page, right? A new Instagram, a new TikTok, whatever. I want you to go and follow the people who have been supportive to you in the past. And then I don't want you to overthink it. I just want you to start making content. Some of that stuff will get shared. Some of the hashtags and whatever that you use will bring more people in. And you'll begin to develop a voice, develop a style, and put out information that, again, the people who really support you will share around, they'll champion, whatever. If you have 50 people, and 5 of them from, a year decide to reach out to you, that will be better than 90% of most agents, right? But the reality is, when you're crushing it and you have 50 people and you continuously put out that content, those algorithms will boost you up and you will see those numbers grow steadily. By the way, I've been in real estate for 3 years. I have a To the Twin Cities Instagram page, whatever, feed, and that one just broke 1,000 followers not that long ago. I would say that I'm somewhere in the 5-ish thousand followers between YouTube and other social media, and I've been able to grow a whole team off of it. And then I've also grown my whole brand because of it. So don't think that Mr. Beast is your your North Star, right? It's not even close. You have a much smaller niche than anything that he'll ever reach. But it doesn't matter. You will be able to make life-changing moves, life-changing money with a much smaller audience of people who are really loyal to you, who really think that what you're doing is up their alley, and they like you as a person, they like your brand, they like your consistency, all that. And then another thing, don't overthink the negative feedback. You're gonna get some negative feedback for sure, from trolls, from people who literally maybe already know you, and then maybe some of the negative feedback is intended to be nice, right? It's coming from a place of love. Then pay attention to that stuff. If other people are, sending you, shitty comments, whatever, who cares? Let them. First of all, they're helping your algorithm, right? Because they're engaging with your profile. But more than anything, they're just miserable, right? So just don't engage. Don't let them drag you down. Just continue to persevere, to put out the stuff that you know that you should be putting out. Sound good? Good. Get after it. Devour information, create more content than anybody you know, figure out how to make your brand stand out, put out a ton of content, a ton of your brand. I want the signals of that to be extremely loud so that you'll have more feedback based on those signals, and don't overthink it, okay? Subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified. Hit me up if you have any desire to work with me, and I will see you in the next video. Go down the rabbit hole if you're brand new. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.